Great. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wildly Uninteresting Podcast. Episode 93. I'm Adam. This is Ian. That's Sarah.
Hi.
We are the Wildly Uninteresting Podcast. Last week we had Mike Arangius on. Arangius. Talking real politically. And then this week it's just us three.
Yeah.
So welcome to the OGs of the show.
OGs?
Yeah, man. I would like to go back to one thing that I said last week about like who do you trust and how to know who to trust and what to trust, right? And I said something about intuition. Use your intuition. Apparently, after doing a little bit of research, it's our intuition that gets us in the trap of falling into conspiracy theorists, like the trap of like getting like hooked on them and getting like a, because our intuition is to be the hero of the story, to put the pieces together. I sent you that article, and it's I don't know how to say that word for the life of me. Apophenia. Apophenia, is that how you say it? I said it like that the other day, and I was like, I just don't sound. I sound like a hillbilly trying to say it. Apophenia.
You should just stand in the bathroom, say it in the mirror about 200 times, and get yourself used to it.
Yeah, and then something appears. Takes a leg.
So a lot of times,
say that much again.
You've awakened something.
A lot of times that's what they do. Like they play into that. They put like all these intricate parts together, but then they base the conspiracy. A lot of those conspiracy theorist leaders are very, very, very good storytellers. Just like Harry Potter and Star Wars and every superhero movie that has ever been,
Daredevil
made.
Sucked.
Yeah, it's always talking about like a hero story. You have the shadows, the dark, the powerful, and then you have the hero of the story, and you also have a mentor.
Right.
Well, the leader of the conspiracy theory is the one that put it out there, and it's like, it's for you to decide. That guy plays the role of the mentor in this story. And then they allow you to be the hero. And of course, our intuition tells us that we want to be in this like higher realm of purpose, and we want to be like a truth-seeking. I want to be in the front lines, and I want my life to matter.
From the crazy shit, and nobody pulled one over on me.
Yeah,
I'm a hero, and I'm not stupid.
Yeah, that's the feeling. That's why we watch those movies. It's why we read the stories. It's all that. So when you're a part of a real life, in a real life arena, so to speak, of being in a hero story, then you fall victim to like false statements and stuff. And then they use grand words like, false flag.
Rhubarb.
There's a lot of those.
Good old rhubarb conspiracy theory.
Rhubarb.
It's the fucking farmers are all in on it.
But no, I would like to say, like, after doing research, I want to like backtrack and say that intuition is what gets us into, well, it's one of the many things about humans that get us into that trap of following along on those narratives because we feel as if we're the hero of the story.
I mean, in a sense, but if you don't follow your intuition, sometimes things are going to go awry.
Yeah.
So it's not, one or the other. It's just follow your intuition, but then follow up on it.
Right.
Yeah,
Be
and do the research.
Even level human being.
It's like I want to tell people, it's like, do your own research, follow your intuition. Don't just listen to me.
Yeah.
But maybe in the process, don't be a fucking idiot.
Right? Yeah. I find it's beneficial to keep like opposing views in my head whenever I'm researching. So if there's stuff that has like an opposing view, to kind of compare and contrast.
Yeah.
That way I can, form my own shit. I'm sorry.
Even if something doesn't have an opposing view yet that you can find, you just think, well, what's the opposite of this?
Right, yeah.
And then you think, all right, let's make a case for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, everybody should take a debate class.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, no.
Or just learn shit on your own and quit relying on the school systems.
Yeah.
Oh, they need to start teaching this to my kid. Well, why don't you teach your kid?
Why don't you fucking do it?
Fucking dumb shit.
Jesus.
We
Poor
hate lazy
kids.
parents. Is what.
Poor kids.
And people whose intuition isn't perfect.
Yeah, they're all terrible. Fix your intuition.
Yeah.
I think a lot of
Everybody
times,
can
like,
eat a dick.
most of the time, I feel like our intuition has gotten us very far as like selective. What is it? When like
Natural selection.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you develop for your surroundings. You pick the best
definitely.
traits, and then you evolve from there. And blah blah.
But then
blah.
also intuition is what got us into thinking that we're the center of the universe.
Yeah, intuition is what got us into the Salem witch trials and burning
God, that's just
women.
fucking greed. I listened to a little bit of shit about that.
Yeah, dude, it screws me up because I'm like, as much as I want to be like, we have evolved as a human race.
no.
We haven't. We
Not
just
that
don't
much.
burn women
Then there was,
as often.
there was McCarthyism and shit, and maybe we should burn women again.
I guess so, man. We got to go
Probably
back to
wouldn't hurt.
something.
Did you know they hung a dog
Where?
in the Salem witch
They
trials?
thought it was a
Oh.
witch.
It gave him
They
the
thought it was
evil
a witch.
eye, so they killed it.
Killed it.
This motherfucker knows something. Get him out.
And there was this old lady, I forget, she was a good lady about town. I forget her name, but they accused her of
Susie.
being a witch, and she was like, Susie, instead of being all like, no, I'm not a witch, she was like, well, what? How did I go astray? What did I do to? So
Aw, that
the
hurts my
judge
heart.
guy was like, no, I can't do this. She's a good woman. Let her go.
Aw.
And then they killed her anyway.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's
Yeah.
terrible.
I know.
Angry mob, dude.
Did you see where they were
Poor
like,
Susie.
so that they would
Susie.
throw a woman in water to see if
yeah.
she floats or if she sinks because water was supposedly pure.
Yeah.
And if she floats, she's a witch because the water would not accept her and it was expelling her from the water. And I was like, we need to start dunking bitches immediately.
Immediately. And then, if you would admit to being a witch,
Yeah.
they'd have a little more mercy on you.
Oh,
And
no
if you
way.
refused, they fucked you up.
Yeah, they were
What
like, you're
is-
denying your true self.
What is that thing of wanting people to confess and then
It's-
it's
oh,
a little
yeah.
bit better.
Well, because they followed their intuition and they want to be proven that they're not a fool. So if you just
Tell me I'm right.
Yeah, if you feed my ego that I was right, I'll have mercy.
Have mercy.
But then that dude, I think with Giles Corey,
yeah.
yeah, he was like the old dude, and he wouldn't they were like, "Are you a witch? Or are you not a witch?" He just wouldn't say anything, and he's the guy that they pressed to death.
Jesus.
Oh,
They just
God.
kept adding rocks, and they were like his last words
That
were,
was so
more
slow.
weight.
More weight.
they were like, he looks like he
He's a
wants to
badass.
confess something. What's he gonna say? He's like, more weight.
Oh.
What a bad.
Fuck you. Then they took all the shit.
He's like,
That's
please
amazing.
kill me now. Being pressed to death would be horrible. Like
Well,
very
that's-
slow, agonizing death.
That's like what's
Terrible.
the guy we're watching, like Richard Jewell, the
Yeah.
Olympic Park bomber that they accused him for being the Olympic Park bomber when he was actually the hero of that story.
Yeah.
And they proved that he was the hero of it, but they would not, like the FBI would not get off of it that he did that one. Like, forgiven the fact that like there's 4 other bombings in Atlanta, Georgia that followed the same pattern. They were
Right.
like, no, he did that one, but we have another serial bomber.
Yeah.
Like, and they just wanted to be right. All the news stations wanted to be right. They were like, we don't want to be wrong.
We don't want to retract this.
We're not going to retract shit.
Yeah.
They sued the hell out of all the people. FBI settled, ABC, NBC, CNN. They all settled except for one. And but they still released statements that said that our research was correct and we don't take back our statement. But
Right,
here's $1 million.
We back up our mistake, basically,
Yeah.
without claiming that it was a mistake.
That's the thing.
So
you
you
watch
did
it.
it, but we're gonna give you $1 million.
Yep.
See, and this guy dies when he's 44, right? So it makes you wonder if the Christians are right and we're here for a reason, right? Everybody has their little purpose on earth.
Right.
Was it his purpose to come here on earth so that he could go through this trial by, media, right? And be condemned pretty much and looked at like terrible, it ruined his life. Just so we would be more strict on what the media covers, which, I mean, we still haven't progressed that far, and that was
No.
in 96, so, it takes a little time, I guess.
Yeah.
But we still convict people, through media, And
Look at Nancy Grace.
Yeah.
She's the first one to fucking point a finger.
Dude.
He did it.
I'm sorry, I would drop kick Nancy Grace. If I had the chance and I knew I wouldn't get in trouble, she would get drop kicked.
Oh, absolutely.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No offense, and it's not because she's a woman, but Jesus
she's
Christ.
fucking annoying.
Yeah, she's an
She's
accusatory
annoying.
cunt.
Yeah.
It's just stirring the pot.
And I think she's like openly accusatory, even if she knows like, oh, there could be, a different reasoning for this. She's like, nope, this is what it is, and I know it.
It
and
really
everybody
makes
else
me
needs to know.
wonder. I've thought about Nancy Grace on a lot of occasions because her husband, I believe, was murdered. So she got into it. What's the fucking word? Investigating. Yeah,
journalism.
and that's kind of how she got on the road that she's on. So was she that way prior to, like, accusatory and just, I don't need facts, or
Maybe.
did she do it just for television? And
Maybe that
ratings?
too. But
Seems
maybe
reasonable, yeah.
Yeah.
maybe it gave her a platform to be the person that she already was internally. But that goes to say, if you had the platform and they were like, this is what, and you need to report and blah, blah, blah. If you went down the same road she did, with or without the husband's death, would you do the same just because the news station was like, you got to cover a story, you got to do good, and they put you in this place? Like, maybe it's just a shitstorm of, possibilities for her to be a accusatory
A little bitch. It really bothers me. I feel like she could, have a positive impact in the world of what society thinks, but instead,
But then everybody would think she was boring and she wouldn't get any money.
yeah,
Well, a lot of people that have a positive impact on society really don't get a lot of coverage at all. They get
Right, yeah.
even on like social media outlets and stuff. But the ones who are like conflicting and they fucking run over people and all that, like, they get covered the most. Like, it's a weird world we live in.
yeah.
And then whenever people do nice things, they're like, oh, they're just doing it for the attention.
Oh, yeah,
They
they
just-
do.
No
They
one
just
can
want the
do
views.
anything.
What about
just
all the
to
shit
do it.
slingers that are just doing it for attention? No, they're fine. Let them do it. It's entertaining.
It's
It's
entertainment.
fine. This need for entertainment is
There's an algorithm
it's out
to
of
entertainment.
control.
Yeah, farts are entertaining.
Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
we need to embrace idiocracy and just make Owl My Balls a show and then go from there.
We need to have a fart segment. We need to start. We can film it separately because it's going to get gross, but just film it at the end, paste it into the podcast.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Of a
plus
good
it would be
45
hard to
seconds.
perform just like whenever. Here, fart.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Do it now.
Maybe we can train ourselves to be able to fart on command.
Yeah,
I think
Probably
Haley
not.
can. No, Jada can.
yeah.
Probably not.
Used to. That's probably embarrassing. I probably shouldn't have said that. Sorry, guys.
Fuck her, man. She'll live, whichever one it is.
It's neither one of them.
I knew her. I dated a female that could suck wind into her vaginal canal
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then blow it out on command, which was not sexy or
Command
funny.
Oh,
It was
no.
just weird.
It's a queef. No one wants to queef.
But like on demand, like with no penetration whatsoever. It was just like, I'm going to suck my gut up.
It's like it's
And
got
then push 'em
lungs.
out.
She
Yeah,
doing
it was weird.
Kegels.
Yeah, super weird, man.
They're strong puss lungs.
You know, what is it about being young? Like, I'm sure being young, because I had sex at a young age, right? And like back then, I was down for almost anything because I had a girl want me to pee on her, and I was like, I'll probably do that for sure.
Perhaps I'll do this.
I'll probably do that because that sounds awesome. But that was like my testosterone infused brain that was just blinding me
Fucking
stupid.
horny
Sounds
and
like you
crazy.
got your answer then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then like now I think about it, but like if a girl asked me that, I would probably slap her. Not really. I don't hit women, but I would ridicule the fuck out of her. I would use some
goodness.
strong language.
I'm gonna beat her at her own game.
I did. I'm not an abuser, but I did call a girl a bitch and a whore one time, and I got the shit beat out of me in the passenger seat of a car, which I could get out of if I wanted to, but I let her beat my.
You just
beat
sat
my
there.
ass. I just sat there and took it.
Because you're a masochist.
What is that?
You like pain. It's
Oh, there you go,
pleasurable.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I laughed in her face and like, you're still a whore. Like, and I was like bleeding and stuff.
Stop being a whore, and I
Yeah.
won't call you a whore.
Yeah, I mean, was she a whore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yes because.
Great, then fuck her.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
would say yeah. Subjectively, yes. Like,
Yeah.
take me out of the situation. Subjectively, yes.
She's a whore.
Yeah. She
Well,
was.
was. She's dead.
Objectively, then?
Objective.
Yes.
Okay.
Subjective.
Yeah.
Object. But yeah, when it comes down to it, man, that's what something I told Sarah. Like, I truly don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that I believe in that I believe are like true to a statement.
True.
But then I'm like, well, that's untrue in an infinite reality. And I think we talked about that last time. Like, anything's possible within this reality, and everything's impossible within this reality if you think that way. Like, so anything I can think, like, if you give me undeniable scientific proof, like, I'm gonna have to be like, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go with
My mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with your studies because they look legit compared to my intuition, right? But this all the false narratives and storytelling and all that need to die. They need to die, and we need to just base it off of fact. Even if your government is like, alien reptiles that butt fuck children, and then they, drain you of your money and blood, right? Okay,
money and blood. Which one's first?
Both.
Take my blood first.
Whichever drains
Leave
the
my
quickest.
money alone.
But if the say all that's true, if you have no physical evidence, you're not holding a reptilian succubus piece of shit government agent, right? Then don't talk to me. Like, you don't have the evidence. So same as I wholeheartedly believe in UFO. I fucking do. There's so many sightings and stuff like that. Could be hysteria, could be people on drugs, it could be a multitude of things, right?
How many UFOs have you seen on drugs?
None.
None, but I've seen a lot of aliens. They didn't come on ships. They sure were here, bro. It took me back a little bit.
Your face was so.
They didn't come on ships.
I think you're just waiting for the reaction.
Oh shit!
I don't know. I've seen plenty of UFOs.
Oh, that's good.
Never on drugs. So
By
I feel
definition,
good.
the UFO.
Not
you can
necessarily
see
an
one.
alien ship. You know?
Yeah, that's the one. Like, even the proof that came out from like the Navy officers and shit like that. That's not undeniable proof because they are UFOs. You're correct, but that doesn't mean that
Is it
they're
housing an alien? We don't know that.
Well, I tend to just use the words interchangeably.
Yeah.
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 Because I
think a lot of people do.
I saw a UFO. Read alien ship.
alien shit.
Now, if I'm like, hey, I saw something in the sky. I don't know what the fuck it was. UFO, not an alien ship.
I tend to call alien ship a UFO and something that I don't know what it is, an unidentified flying object. I use the whole word.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That's how you distinguish the two.
It's the same thing.
But
different.
yeah, but that and 9/11 is that's my all-time favorites, right? But it could be that all the government agencies didn't talk amongst one another. They knew something was coming and didn't conversate, and it just happened. And it might have looked like the government was involved, but they really weren't. They were just negligent, right?
Right.
There's a possibility of that. And I don't discredit that. I fully believe that I love that conspiracy theory. It's my favorite one. 9/11 was an inside job. But there's also the possibility it wasn't. So
Right.
I'm not like on the forefront.
Well, and that's what I told him. Like, do I think Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone man that had anything to do with JFK dying? No, but he could be. For sure.
Well, Couch and I were talking because he was talking about Mike being on, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I accept the Kennedy thing, but whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm starting to think that Oswald acted alone. And I was just like, back and to the left. He's like, I'm back on board.
That's right.
I watched the thing. It's been a long time ago, but saying that one man, a great marksman, can with the same weapon shoot, reload, and shoot again.
Right.
Hit the mark that was hit, and it's proved that it could happen. Now, was Lee Harvey Oswald that good of a shot? I don't know.
No, but he could have been real on point. Sometimes you just have good fucking days.
Even if he did, why is the evidence all weird? Where does brain go?
Where did his brain go?
Why were they weird about the autopsy?
Because he's a president.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I guess we can't let the people see the reality of it.
No.
Did you hear
Especially then. No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Personally, no.
No.
But especially then, it was all like shelter the people. And I mean, it's still that way.
Yeah,
but
I
Still
mean,
that way.
if you look at it, it just says that the alternative is less acceptable. We'd rather have wild conspiracy theories and distrust of government than to just release the truth.
tell you the
real
truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So-
why I think that it would be, we would have accepted it more if you said that, like, he was involved with the mafia and the mafia took a hit and blah, blah.
For real.
I'd be like, cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, that
You're
makes
right.
complete sense.
Yeah.
Great, move on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
and then we
wonder-
could stop, like, this
Yeah.
endless battle
Instead,
on JFK.
the government, they're out to get us. Which, the fact that they don't bring out the truth and just accept it, say, here, take your medicine, here's the deal, let's get past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
makes
just kind
it
of
a little
says, it
weird.
like, yeah, we're doing this to you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yep. Enjoy it.
What if they implement the conspiracy theories as such? Like, what if Roswell was a weather balloon, right? What if they implement the conspiracy theory just to get people talking about something else, so they do their shady shit behind closed doors, so you don't ask the real
Distract.
questions, right? You come to the
So look at this. So
Don't
I
ask.
can do this shit
Exactly.
over here. Uh-huh.
That's truly a method, man. Let me get you really focused on something else, and I'll do something else behind your back. I mean, but do I think like the government's like this reptilian alien race?
Absolutely. I know.
Yes.
So, I mean, another thing that makes it frustrating is that, like, with my nature and my thought process on things is, if I were in positions of power in the government, I'd probably do some of that shit. Just fuck with people.
Yeah.
Like, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, they're bored. They're like, can we please
Right?
just
So, I
fuck
mean,
with these people?
They're more motivated. They're more detached from the average person, and they have more at their hands. You know, they can do
More
more.
resources.
So it's like, if one of them wanted to get something going, you know, with them being all buddy with along party lines and shit. Hey man, you want to help me get this conspiracy going? Oh yeah, dude, I'll ask Ted. He's with us.
I've been waiting for a good
Waiting, I
conspiracy.
can't wait to get these people
We'll go
talking.
down in shadow history, and it'll be wonderful.
Hell yeah.
And I think too, like, yeah,
Goddamn.
it's getting about that time. When it comes down to it, man, I think it wouldn't be the first time in presidential history that they demonized a president. It wouldn't be. I think they did it to Reagan, if I'm not mistaken. Is that
I
right?
don't know.
I
I don't know what you mean by demonize them. 'Cause, I
Just,
mean, everybody has been to a degree.
Yeah, but made him out to be like a kook, a wild man, a wild
yeah.
card, blah, blah, blah. It wouldn't be the first time that they, like, lied to make somebody look worse off than they were, and that's cool, but you know, Trump didn't. The thing that I have against Trump is the fact that he didn't need any help. Like, he kind of did it on his own,
Right?
and he openly made himself a target, when in reality he could have just laid low in the beginning and he probably would have been elected another term.
Right.
Honestly, if he didn't do all the tweeting and all the, like, put a target on his own back, he would be your next president.
Yeah.
Hands down, without a question. But you put a target on your back and you, let's say he's right? If you openly say that shit and you openly cause a disturbance amongst the government, the higher ups,
Yeah.
you don't
And-
think they're going to push you out?
For real. If the government and the people,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
everyone
you have everybody
all fucked
fighting.
up.
Save
Yes.
that shit for your second term.
Exactly. Look, at that point, you can't do another term,
Yeah.
right? And you just go out in a bang. Use your second half and just destroy him. He could have done that.
Although this is bad because now it's just going to lay the groundwork for somebody worse.
Yeah.
They're going to be cool for their first term, and then they're going to set up their pieces, and then bam,
Damn,
re-election. Fuck y'all.
Fuck all y'all. I'm doing it up big. That's what they're not disclosing any more information to any new briefings or anything to Donald Trump. They're trying not to, like, debrief him on anything to do with the, like, State of the Union. None of that. Which I don't know how the impeaching's going, but I know that they try to impeach him. Like, come on, man, 3 days? Like, you don't need to impeach the guy.
I don't know. It
I think
happened
that-
in the House. I don't know about the Senate.
Yeah.
I stopped paying attention.
I know. I seen that last one, and I'm like, oh yeah, did it happen? No, they're just like recycling the news, and I'm
I
just
did like
look that up.
Michael Rappaport's response.
What do you say?
He was just
What do you say?
going on. He was like, you stupid motherfucker.
Yes, that's awesome.
But, he
Get
made
him,
the solid
Michael.
point. He's like, it's not a matter of, like, censoring the president. It's like, this is happening because you're an asshole.
Yeah, dude.
He's like, I did 3 months in like, social media jail or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, because I was being an asshole. I know what I did.
It's awesome. Oh, goodness. But that's another situation where I feel like if, like, taking responsibility for it and I'd accept it, like,
Yeah.
Trump just will not say, like, I'm a dick or I'm crazy or everything I have said has been just to get you all riled up. He will not
He
say that.
did a good job at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
won't
if he
say
would,
it.
it'd be...
But I think because the president is a normal ass human being. I mean, we view the president on a pedestal, of course, from children, and we're like, this is the president. This is the guy who runs the country, or girl for that matter. That
many times
runs-
Yet
that
to be
happened?
seen.
No, but it surely will. Truly. Anyways,
Yeah.
right? So you're born to think that like that is like he's beyond human malfunction, I guess you would say, right? So when you see a president acting like your buddy, and
Right.
we saw that with
I
Bush.
would
Bush was
never
just like
be friends with that motherfucker.
Bush was a drunk
Probably hang
Texan.
out with him.
He didn't fucking give a shit either, but we also didn't have Twitter then. I'm sure he would have made himself look really stupid on Twitter.
No, I'm sure he would have been presidential and stayed the fuck off of
You
it.
think
yeah,
so?
seriously.
Yeah, I think that's what happened here with Trump. Trump's a regular ass dude, right? Loves conspiracy theories as well, and he just openly voiced his shit.
And he also has some type of disorder.
Oh yeah.
He's
Do you
for
think
sure
so?
narcissistic, and
Yeah.
he's got to have something else in there.
Well,
he might be borderline.
I think
see
any,
it.
Yeah.
I think any president technically has to be narcissistic to be in the position
you
that they're
know,
holding.
I can accept like a small amount of it, may be above confidence, like
Yeah, because I mean,
be confident, but
Yeah.
above that, you start think everything I say and do is right. Anyone who goes against what I say has personally wronged me, and I need to get them out. And that's exactly what has happened in this situation.
yeah. Because I'm thinking like Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
He's president, but he seemed like a good dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
generally, like Jimmy Carter, my parents, my family, my grandparents always said like Jimmy Carter will go down as one of the greatest presidents.
it's just a matter of like with the way things have gone. People tend to think it's just they only get in power so they can fuck other people and they don't have to listen to anybody and there's I don't know there's too much closeness of term, I guess, between like narcissist and confident or even arrogant.
Arrogant,
Because I mean, people are just becoming too comfortable throwing around the word narcissist.
Yeah.
yeah,
And there are narcissistic people, and you can have narcissistic tendencies, but a true narcissist is just way different.
Absolutely.
People use the term way. It's like OCD.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Yes, dude. That shit
Yeah, you
drives
are
me
right.
nuts. Like, just because you're a little bit neurotic does not mean that you have obsessive
Yeah,
compulsive
you might
disorder.
just be Jewish.
Yeah. That's right.
I like when those blonde bitches in UGG boots are just like
That's all you need.
You know the ones.
That needs to be on a
You
shirt.
fucking
Blind
know.
bitches in UGG boots.
and they're just like I'm so OCD when it comes
I
to
swear.
enter
some
fucking dumb bullshit that they
menial
do.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
menial.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're completely not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure when nobody's looking, you just like throw your shit away. But you go into her room and she has her like shit thrown everywhere and stuff. You're so OCD.
Yeah, there's McDonald's from last week underneath the
I
bed.
saw you eat that
Come on, she
taquito
don't
off
eat
the
McDonald's.
floor.
She eats Starbucks crumpets and pumpkin spice lattes.
But those are delicious.
Fine.
So I mean, that's the one thing the white chicks are right about.
Hell
I
yes.
got that covered.
There definitely seems to be a trend of like people catching wind though to the names of disorders and then just applying it.
Yeah.
Because if you truly had, especially like an extreme version of OCD, you wouldn't be like laughing about it
No.
because
No,
it
it's
would ruin your fucking
ruin your-
life.
Yeah, like if I could just stop doing this, I would be content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I clean.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
I do what I'm supposed to. Wait.
Is there, it's kind of like, is there a mental disorder equivalent to like hypochondria? To where it's like, ooh, I have
disorder.
Yeah, I have a symptom of this. Therefore, I have it.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I think there is. Oh no, the one I'm thinking of is whenever parents think their kids have something and keep taking them. So I don't
that's
know.
Munchausen.
Yeah.
That's just calm the hell down.
Proxy.
Trust your doctors. If you don't trust your doctor, maybe don't take him to the doctor.
Yeah, get a different doctor for sure.
No, I don't know, man.
Sure.
Look at him. Come on.
I don't know if I can truly say I've ever met a true narcissist because it's kind of like
one.
Yeah.
I had a patient
that was like truly.
Which he wasn't diagnosed because he wouldn't go see someone, but if he wasn't, you can shoot me in the face and, I'll take that.
I truly hope he wasn't.
He was.
Looking
for a reason
I want
to
a face
shoot me in
wound
the
wife.
face wound wife. Oh, man. It sounds real gross.
It does.
Like you carry around a head with a wound, a gigantic, just... Ugh.
It only gets worse.
Shotgun hole in that bitch, and you just carry it everywhere.
She got a little drippy around week 3.
Yeah, you would like fuck it and kiss it and feed it. And
this is my head.
At least rinse it off, like after you fuck it.
Don't tell me what
Did
to
you see
do with
that-
my fucking head wife.
You know what? Fucks me up. There was this girl that was like, good wives like cook and clean for their husbands. An even better wife cleans his fleshlight, his pocket pussy, and she had a picture where she was like cleaning out
You can
the
clean
fucking
that
thing.
shit yourself.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I think people fail to realize like we have moved past the point, which we already did. Like from a young age, we all learned like the internet. Let's just put everything on there and be fine with it.
Yeah,
that
dude.
shit will never go. Not and
no
then if
one
it goes
gives a
viral,
fuck.
yeah, then it goes viral, right? And now it's really not going away because everybody and their mom has saved it and sent it to their friends and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Now your kids grow up and they got to know that their mom was on Instagram cleaning out a fake vagina for their dad.
Yeah,
and they're just
dude.
like, talk about embarrassment.
But
Not even
eventually,
embarrassment.
that won't even be embarrassing. It'll just be the way it is.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of at that point now where people just aren't embarrassed by stuff.
So what happens with a shameless society?
Oh, it's it's wild right now. It's about to get even more wild.
What if it's only wild, though, because we cling to our idea of, just kind of being cool about things? Like, hey, have some dignity. And then you get rid of dignity and all that shit. And you're just
Dude,
like, I'm wild.
I'll tell you what, you
Horrible.
saying that took me back just a minute ago. I had watched a video, which
shit.
I suggest a lot of people watch, man. It's called, the channel is called Pursuit of Wonder, right? And the video is called A Reason to Stop Worrying. That's all you have to type in on YouTube. Check it out. I'm going to listen to it often. You know why? Because the guy goes through this very not intelligent, but it's a story of sorts, right?
Yeah.
And he takes you on a journey of how you don't fucking matter because you are stuck. Your consciousness is stuck inside this brain that's on a fucking very, very tiny little fucking dot in the middle of a
So fucking little.
infinite universe, right? So anything that you do and all that shit, they could remove your clip from the infinite timeline, which is the one that we're on, and it wouldn't change the story.
But that's
Nobody would
foolish
know.
because it would. Have you not seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Come on, man.
No, and I
Come
never
on,
will.
man.
I haven't either, but I watched the Critical Drinker dissect it.
That's awesome.
It's like reading the book review instead of actually reading the book.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get from the story, the guy's like, oh, I'd be better off, the world would be better off if I never existed. Like,
Yeah.
his brother or whatever, like, goes off to war or something and, like, saves people and does these things. But then in the world that he doesn't exist in, his brother doesn't go off to do great things. He doesn't help people. And then with the idea of Jordan Peterson, he's like, oh, I'm a mote of dust in the universe. No, you're a node in a network, and everybody that you come in contact with, you influence them in some way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But is that our rationale for the matter? I mean, I know that it's just as good of a rationale as saying that it doesn't matter and everything's just random and the shit wouldn't matter if you were in it or not,
Are you
right?
a fucking nihilist?
Well, no. I'm just saying.
Don't you call me a nihilist.
That's where I draw the line.
I always struggle with the sense of like not feeling like I'm from this planet or timeline.
Right.
So I try to reason with it and the fact that like, well, it truly doesn't matter. And one day, like even the people that you know and the people that you influence along the way, they'll die. And the history books will erase your name. Even if you're Elon Musk, eventually the world will forget who you are.
I mean,
right?
if you want to...
Not a nihilist, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
eventually...
Not a fucking...
Bitch.
But, well, I mean, just... I get what you're saying, and I agree to an extent, but... You know, if Lincoln was like, oh, I'm not going to worry about freeing these black people. Who
Right.
cares? I'm just a president.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
going to die one day and it
Yeah.
won't matter.
It won't matter in 2021, yet here we are.
Yeah.
And then maybe the guy that sold Lincoln like a pork chop or something said something to him in passing, and Lincoln was like, oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Hell
He
yeah.
was having a shit day, and that little pork chop man gave him a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
Ah.
I get like in the big picture, if you want to look at it that way, technically it doesn't, because I mean, like, if you weren't here, I would be very sad. I'd likely be dead, actually. Let's just be real. And
Me too.
yeah, right, exactly. You're dead, then I'm dead, and he's dead.
I
and
assumed it was a murder-suicide in this instance, though.
between you two or us two?
You too.
And then like the impact on our parents, but then I mean, you know, technically, why do they fucking matter? If that's the route
The
that you want to
basis of
go,
it, yeah.
then okay, sure. But really, it would have a huge impact. I mean, I would definitely not walk around smiling and happiness or anything at all.
Right, and then you just inject that misery into everybody you come across.
For sure, I guarantee
Ooh,
I
and that
would
would affect
fucking
a lot.
fight
Yeah,
a
and then
lot
they're
of
going to spread
people.
it to their kids and their friends.
Yeah, man.
Whereas at this point, I try my best to, my kind of philosophy, I guess, is that I might be the only smiling face that somebody sees that day. So I try to be as kind as I possibly can to whoever I come in contact with, because I don't want to make their lives worse.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. But I don't think I would be that way if you weren't here. And it has a
But you don't
butterfly
know.
effect. I mean, that person could be like, oh, well, you know what? This woman was so nice to me. I'm going to, you know, be nice to the next person. I'm sure they don't actually think that, but, you know, that type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
It's less.
Use the word I mean.
It's less. I'm going to be a callous fuck to that person. You know, it's more like maybe I just won't say anything.
Well, yeah.
My dad used to tell me that smile at an ugly person because, you know, somebody probably smiled at you. So,
Oh,
so
yes.
always pass on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
Some
ugly.
more ugly people would smile at each other.
Yeah, and that's what we need: more ugly people procreating.
Jesus. For real. Stop it, guys. No. But no, I can understand applying that kind of philosophy, I guess, in certain situations, like to help you stop worrying. Yes, thinking the bigger picture, my consciousness one day won't be here. Therefore, what's the point of being concerned with this menial thing?
Yeah.
I can see how that's beneficial, but definitely applying it like across the board to all of life is not a good idea.
Right? 'Cause
Maybe.
then if you do that, then why not just kill yourself?
Yeah, for
Who
sure.
cares?
End it now and
Yeah.
kill everyone you come in contact with.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
whatever,
Do us a favor.
they'll be
I
dead
think
one
that
day.
would be like that would be fine, but I've found things in life that I actually enjoy, so it's not as much suffering. Like it teeters more on happiness than it does misery. So
right.
now I don't have a reason, but if I ever eventually do, and it teeters the other way, out I go.
Well, out I go.
No need to be here. The game's not worth it. But no, I don't know. It's such a strange thing. The other day I made a mistake and I typed why do I not feel human on planet Earth, right?
Yeah.
And then I got this like laundry list of, you know, crystal people.
Crystal people.
Not crystal people.
Meth
the
heads.
people that they're like they don't. It's not Western homeopathic. Like medicine and their way, not Western, but Eastern medicine and stuff like that. And I got to this girl,
medicine.
this girl, and she really soft spoken and stuff like that. But it was like the reason that you don't feel human as far as this plane of existence is because you were a part of a different timeline and a different community, a different society on a different planet that they have evolved into a society of love and giving and caring and all that. And then, you were placed here in this consciousness on this timeline, and everybody on this plane of existence are greedy. And they're not everybody, but most people, we don't base it in like helping one another, love, light, energy, blah, blah, blah. Like you don't have that higher spirituality. So you don't feel like you're home. You don't feel like that, it's the place for you because all these people are greedy, self-serving assholes, like, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So kind of like that. But then she got into like how to talk to your water, which was pretty interesting. But I was trying to wrap my head around it. But
well, I mean, if we're mostly water, then
dude,
you may as well get in touch with it.
She made it sound good, but then I was like, is she just playing like the story pretty much like conspiracy theories do to other people? Like, I'm like, this shit sounds really, really good, and I want to believe in it.
Look,
maybe I could trick my bath into being hot.
Yeah.
It'll at least be happy.
I will say
that matters.
that there was this like Japanese or Chinese scientists, right?
Bloke.
That did these experiments where he spoke love into water and then he froze it, and then he spoke hate and anger into water and he froze it, and he looked at it under microscope. The one that he spoke love into was very geometrical, like a snowflake you would see. You know what I mean? Very geometrical. It was, whatever.
It was pleasing.
Symmetrical. It was pleasing, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one, most of them come out looking like blobs and just like a frozen mess of nothing.
One of them had a knife.
That'd be fucking
angry.
awesome if you looked at it. It was just a little bitty knife.
Where'd you get that knife?
But can you imagine like talking to
The
your
good
glass
water
of
gave
water,
it to him.
just like give me abundance and love.
I need you to hydrate me, my man.
Come hydrate me.
Got you there.
I think though that everything. I love the idea that you don't feel like you belong here because you've existed elsewhere and
On
it's
another
not
timeline
matching up.
somewhere. Yeah.
That idea is just beautiful to me. It makes me so happy.
It's
When
also horrible.
But yes, absolutely, because you don't feel like you belong because
Right.
we're so far off track.
I'm out of place and this sucks, but I had the place of love, and that's nice.
Some things, whenever we talk about them, it's just like, it makes so much sense to me.
I know,
And it's
it
now
makes sense.
fact to me. And
Yeah.
that's, to me,
Wow.
he did live in another life.
It makes you feel
And
that way, dude. When I
for
was listening
sure.
to it, I was like, for sure, that's what it is. Because I always go around like hating the way that people are, what they base their, reality on, what they base their, like, what they care about and what they talk about. And it's just like mindless. Like, why are we even worried about, whatever, dude. Enter whatever people worry about on a daily basis. It's so menial. It's so stupid.
Social media.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. Anything, say whatever you want that people worry about. What is it?
Eruption.
Eruption of what?
He said whatever he wanted.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it was just in my head. I said it, yeah.
Eruption. But no, anything like that, you know what I mean? Like shit like that really doesn't matter, and a lot of it is self-serving. A lot of it is just menial and stupid. Like half the shit we worry about, half the shit we work towards, all that is just stupid, right? And you don't even want to help your neighbor when they get a flat tire. You know what I mean? You can't even bother yourself to help somebody out when they get a flat tire.
Well, maybe they should be
Unless you're
smart
filming
enough
it.
to have a spare.
That's right.
I don't want a neighbor that doesn't have a spare.
Get it together.
Get it together.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's certain things about this world that just baffle the shit out of me, I think, is what it is.
The thing about water, that's what I agree with which I'm not going to like sit here and talk to your water, but definitely like imagine the scenario of, growing up in a household that's full of hate and arguing and stuff, like how much that impacts all of you. I mean,
it cut you, Donna.
Donna's dead.
And there's certain people you can feel that energy in them.
For sure. Well, it
They're hateful.
directly impacts like your cells and your makeup, your everything. So I certainly believe that it would impact your water. So I mean, if you're getting ready to drink some water and your family's throwing shit or, whatever, like beating each other, it's definitely not going to have the same effect
The
for
water's
you.
a little frazzled.
Frazzled.
Something they brought up though that I thought was cool is like that every particle on planet Earth before it's physical is it's a wave of sorts, right? It's a wave of potential energy that manifests itself as an element that manifests itself as a physical entity, something that you can actually see and feel and touch.
Plutonium.
But it doesn't turn into that without the reaction of a conscious being. So without that conscious being turning that potential energy wave into a physical particle, technically the world wouldn't exist. So without consciousness being around, we would never be able to view physical things.
So the world wouldn't exist as it is,
Right.
but it would just be like a
formless
glob
shapeless-
of like waves and
Yeah.
shit.
It would look
Like
like,
an empty
Peter
void.
Griffin whenever he wishes his bones away in that episode of Family Guy. It's awesome.
That's
I was gonna bring up the idea of like returning to the reasons not to worry, essentially, and we're eventually gonna die, and it's not gonna matter anyway. Like, think about it in the long game. I mean, assuming that our spirits continue and go somewhere else and then sometimes return to another human being. I mean, everything that happens to your spirit it's gonna carry it with you. So, avoiding like negative things it's going to be good for that spirit, and one day it's going to be good for somebody else in the future, or it could be bad. I mean, if you just, full of hate, it's definitely
all
going
your
to
timelines eventually that's gonna grow into a big ass cancer, kill everybody.
Absolutely. So your consciousness is important. You should treat it with care, and it's because one day it's going to go on without you, and going to be there.
Unless you're a true atheist and nothing matters, but then, you're probably wrong.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
atheism, which is a young mindset, I think atheism is the one that bothers me the most. Not that you have to believe in anything or whatever, but for you, I think atheism, again, we're going to go back to not narcissistic, but self-centered, right? Atheism, it puts too much emphasis on there's nothing that, like, you know what I mean? You can't explain this infinite thing that you're a part of, right?
That doesn't mean that there's something else there.
No, it doesn't, right? It doesn't, but there's also this grand science that put this nothing or this something into existence, right? So at least believe in that, at least believe in this
In
grand
science.
science-based, explosion and, something from nothing style, whatever they've said you know what I mean? Like, at least put your faith in that. Like, if you're an atheist, you're not believing in anything. There's nothing beyond you and your surroundings and stuff like that.
It's this and then it's over.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that, whatever. But for you to
Sounds like you're not.
No, I just it bothers me, that one, the most, because I've said that before. I'm like, I'm atheist. So but I didn't truly understand what that meant, because every day I wake up, I feel like something woke me up. Not like God or this or that.
Alarm
But
clock or
An
whatever.
angel kissing you on the cheek.
Imagine this huge timeline you're a part of that allowed you to wake up for the last 30 years. Like, you at least have to believe in the science that got you here, you piece of shit.
Right? Yeah.
But that's science.
But believe in it, yeah.
But atheism has nothing to do with science.
Do they just discredit?
It just
like,
means like there's no God, there's no supernatural higher
supreme,
power.
higher.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I
it.
didn't know that.
Still, though, I mean,
See?
Learn that shit.
Look at that.
Because then you're walking around in life do they believe that something else has happened? Because, I mean, when it comes down to your beliefs, like, science could be your belief. That could be what you, quote unquote, worship, if you want to use that
Thos
word.
used to make that argument. He's like, well, if you're an atheist, which there was.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, if you're an atheist, then you put as much faith in science as you do in religion, because I mean, just because they say that there's this, you're believing what they've come to learn and document. It's like, no, don't.
You shut up.
Because, I mean, if you have one scientific fact, that's still more than there is to support religion.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Score
you know,
one for you.
but thanks.
I like that.
Hell yes.
But I don't know. It's just the idea that if you can't explain something, and you attribute it to like a god or something, then that's just ignorant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely silly. Religion is just beyond me.
And
It's
just because you can't
organized.
disprove something doesn't mean that it exists, right?
Oh, absolutely.
People have went out to be like, oh, well, I can't disprove it. Okay, but that's not the same as proving it.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination, it's not proving it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just had this, like, I listen to, like, Christian music, like, during the day and shit, and they have this new movie coming out that is about, like, this journalist trying to, like, disprove whatever, and just the trailer in itself is idiotic
It's
to
a bunch
me.
of bullshit.
But I can see a bunch of Christians being like, oh, this is the next God's Not Dead, or this is the next, what's the one, Passion of the Christ. Like,
Right.
we're going to, like, attach this movie because God's not dead, and the Bible's so true and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, like, that's what we're doing on a daily basis. Just because you can't disprove something doesn't mean that you're proving it. It's not the same.
It's very black and white, like all or nothing type thinking. Yeah. I can't disprove it, therefore it's true. And that's stupid.
Yeah, because think about it.
It's
you
stupider
can't, you
than-
can't technically prove anything that happened whenever it was. Whenever, right? Because you can't, like, prove that because you weren't there and nobody here was there.
If it's
You
not
know
on
what I mean?
YouTube, it's not true.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
the Bible.
But the Bible. And that's like where their argument stops. Like, you can't prove that most of the people existed that was supposed to. Whereas the actual physical proof that, you can't. And
Right.
just because you can't disprove it doesn't mean you can prove
Oh,
it.
that's
Whatever.
where faith comes in.
Yeah. Fuck me, right?
Right?
Fucking faith, dude. They always get you with that one. Like, that's what faith means. Well, they come up with the word faith just to get your dumb ass to say that shit to me.
To say it to me.
They were like, well, how can we actually, brainwash them and have control over these people?
Yes.
Teach them the word faith, man.
But to what end? Is there the
Where?
idea, like, you sort of say, oh, religion is just a way to brainwash people and control them. But, I mean, at the essence of all religions, it's goodness.
Well, and I would
And
say
being kind to each other. Let's brainwash them into being nice to each other and thoughtful.
I think
how,
at its
how duplicitous.
I think at its basis, like in the beginning, it was more of a control aspect. Now, it's more on the, just morally right,
I think
be
it's-
morally
Now it's
good.
political control.
I think it's also important to disconnect religion and organized religion, because religion in itself is just believing in something, like whatever you choose to, and then organized religion is actually the church and all the politics that go into that shit. Like,
Yeah.
organized religion is fucked. I'm cool with
Just
religion.
being religious
You're
or
wrong,
spiritual.
but I think religion is like a series of practices and like rituals and shit,
Yeah.
which is essentially organized religion. But
Oh.
I get the difference that you
The
make.
thing,
yeah,
too,
It's
absolutely.
like the church and what you do.
Like, if
The
you're
thing
doing
that
stuff in
baffles
your
me-
home, it's not the same for
Yeah,
sure.
like in the church, those people is like, I mean, if you're not living the way like that church does or lives, technically you're morally wrong, and they have a moral high ground on you, right? So
Right.
morally speaking, they're better than you, and they make you know that. I think that in many ways, the church and the organized religion they want you to know that they're better than you, and the only way that you can get any
That's why
better.
they tell you you're a sinner all the
What if
time.
that's
Yeah.
just people that misunderstand the religion being
I
the
think a lot of
mouthpiece
people
for
do.
it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, and the people who run those churches and are the mouthpiece for it did it in a corrupt fashion, right?
Yeah. It also seems to be predominantly Western religions.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's something that we've talked about before, and I brought up the fact that like, your sample population is very small because you've come in contact with like these people and that's how they acted. That doesn't mean all people who are religious or in the church are that way. Just the ones you happen to come in contact with are terrible.
Bunch of assholes.
So what could be gathered from this is you should probably travel.
Absolutely, yeah. Get out, man.
I like travel.
Yeah.
Travel.
Yeah.
It's been
It's
a
like-
long time since
I'm a lot more accepting of people when I'm traveling.
Oh,
I get
yeah.
out and about. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna open myself up for a bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Then
And
I get home, I'm
accepting.
like,
It's because your intention is to experience new things, so you can be however you want to be, people.
That's I can see that for sure. I'm more kind-hearted when it comes to that, and I don't get as mad as like with traffic and that when I'm headed somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm accepting of the people in Kroger and shit like that. But you give me I'm murdering. I want to murder people.
Right. If I'm going to just pick up butter, like, y'all need to get the fuck out of my way, like, because this is my routine, and move.
The human state's so weird, man. Because I can say, you know, as much as I want, like, you don't need to be self-serving and self-centered, and then when I go to Kroger and these people are like blocking, you know, just like running rampant in Kroger.
I guess, though,
it's a David Foster Wallace shit.
It could all come down to expectations. Because when you're traveling, you're expecting some amount of
Discomfort.
discomfort, yes. And when you're, you know, just going to Kroger, you just want to go and be done because, you know, you got other things to do.
I just want ABC, man. I don't want this question mark over here. I didn't buy that.
Exactly. But when you're traveling, you're expecting a question mark.
You get stuck in traffic. Think, oh, all right, I could just look at these buildings. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, these are cool.
Take new ways to familiar places.
Yeah. Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Aw. Yeah.
But at the same time, I just want the fastest way because I just want to go home.
Yeah.
I
Always.
get home.
Yeah.
That food's smelling right.
I know. I can't believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Smell
first started
right.
smelling it, I thought it was you.
A fart. I swear to God, I thought it was a fart too. I'm like, oh no, did
I was
one
like, what the
slip
fuck,
out?
dude?
I swear, dude, I thought the same thing.
I thought it was like, it smelled like cornbread. I was like, did I put the cornbread in and not the fucking pork? I was so
No, it's the
upset.
pork that smell like a fart for sure.
For sure.
No, man.
I have to buy green onions and tomatoes.
Right now,
Like
do
you
you
need
want to
to
like take the
leave.
Right
mics
now.
with us? Let's
Yeah.
go.
On
Yeah,
the road.
come on.
Do. No, man, that was episode 93. Like I said, it was like a quick episode compared to last week. It's just the OGs of the show. If you press that button again, I'm breaking that motherfucking thing. No, I'm just joking. No, man, but yeah, if you listen to our show and shit like that, make some comments, man. Make some waves. Add your opinion, get in an argument, do that kind of
I
shit.
feel like we need to do one of those things where you just have like the pre-recorded. Hey, you know, if you want to help us out, you know, hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to pop over to Patreon, you know, be a patron.
We
you
should
could.
have them throw that
But
bitch
at the
in there.
same time, you know, I wouldn't want to record it. So maybe just-
Well, you will though. So fuck you.
No, man, but yeah, if you've gotten this far and you listen to our shit and you've listened to the last 92 episodes, we really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
your journey here, man. And if you want to be on the show, leave a comment. You can come on the show. You don't have to be nothing fancy. You could just come and talk shit with us.
Yeah.
it's preferably not fancy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we're
don't
really
like
not
Oh,
fancy.
man.
Bitches.
Politicians are too calculated to be interesting in conversation. I realized that the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not just that they're full of shit.
Because you're sitting there thinking the whole time, can I trust what you're saying?
No, it's just, I don't even give a fuck if I can. It's just, it's so calculated. There's no actual conversing. It's just, well, from our research, this is the least offensive thing.
That's awesome. Thanks for bringing that up right now.
No problem.
Yeah, man. You all have a great life, and you know, take care of yourself or some shit. Like, comment, share, subscribe, blah blah blah. Hit the bell notification. The bottom left of the screen.
Bumble.
Skibbity bop 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 bop.
Whoa. Wildly uninteresting podcast.
It's time to
Podcast.
go.